Hello.
Hello.
Hi. So let me go ahead and introduce myself. Good afternoon. My name is Brandon. My name sign is BX.
Hi, I'm Sergio. This is my sign name.
Awesome. Hi there. My name is Meg. It's you just spell Megs.
Megs. Hi, I'm David Rivera. This is my sign name. Hello.
All right. Welcome, David. I know we're kind of not sure where to begin here, but I have a question. What made you fall into the world of cryptocurrency? Who wants to start?
Well, for myself, I used to look on Reddit, which is an internet forum where people would make a bunch of comments, and I started learning about Bitcoin. I started seeing that, and there was a lot of technology related to digital currency where you didn't need to use the US dollar. And I thought, okay, that sounded cool, but I didn't really think anything of it because back then it was like worth what, $7, $8 at the most per coin. And
Nice.
now, right, I'm thinking, but ever since then, I started getting into it and just thinking about why it held value. And I started learning a lot more about it.
I'll go next. So, the reason why I fell into the world of cryptocurrency is because my husband just kept reading so much literature about it and kept talking about it. And at first, I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I had no idea. And then I decided to join him on his journey. And I have to say, it's been an extremely fascinating experience thus far.
Yeah. Yeah. I would see Bitcoin come up from time to time, but I didn't think anything of it. I had no interest at all in it. I was thinking, I'm just happy with what I have. And I thought I was doing well. But my friend had kept texting me and they said, hey, you got to get on this. And kept sending me these articles. And I thought, oh, okay. And I'd kind of blow them off. I'd say, oh, that's great. That's nice. But I started getting interested in it because my friend really wanted me to get involved. So I started doing research and I really got into it. I'm really impressed with the technology that they use and the whole concept of this new currency that you can use to make payments. And the more I read about it, the more I started falling in love with it. And ever since then, I've been really into it. It's been 2 years now.
I have to say, first of all, I love technology. I've always been a fan. Cryptocurrency was a fairly new concept, and not a there wasn't a lot out there or people talking about it. So what really helped was the Robinhood app that where you can finally buy stocks without the need of having to use a broker to purchase stocks. So I almost felt like it was Uber and Lyft, right? That
Mhm.
whole model
It's nice.
direct to services. And so they had cryptocurrency on Robinhood and they had Bitcoin at that time. I remember it was $4,000. And at the time I thought, ooh, 4,000 was a lot. And I didn't know that they had the fractions where you can buy the part, like fractionalized parts of it.
Same, same.
Right. All of us were in the same boat. And after I did a little bit of research, I saw the doggy coin. And so I
Doge.
decided the Dogecoin, thank you. And I decided to try for 555 shares, which, tokens, coins. So I went ahead and I dabbled in that and I fell into it. Plus NFT, which we'll go into here, but it really got me into the world of cryptocurrency.
Yeah, one thing for sure we all can agree on was something I told myself that I would go back to 2010 or 2011 and I would buy everything. I'm sure the whole world regrets that, not buying it back then. It just, I remember seeing it and thinking, oh, Doge, and there's different coins, and you would get like point 0.0001 Bitcoin now. But I think the great thing is that it's new and it's this new form. Like it's almost like the stock market. It really parallels with that. And it's modern day version of the stock market for youth. And we favor technologies, just like you were saying, with Uber and Lyft. And now it's not this paper, tangible cash thing that you have now. Now we're really switching over to a digital version of money. And that's, to me, it's great. There's one question I wanted to ask you. Have you seen the sign for cryptocurrency as this? I usually do cryptocurrency as coins. Have you seen it?
So as I was getting tired as I was looking into the world of NFT, my hand was literally going to be broken if I kept spelling cryptocurrency. And I'm not on Facebook very much. And so I see the sign coins. And I'm just not comfortable because that is legitimately
That's
coin.
right.
So how do we differentiate the two? And I know there are some signs that are similar, but coins, that continuous use for that sign for cryptocurrency, it just didn't sit well with me. And so we had this cryptocurrency was one idea. I saw cryptocurrency, this other one. I saw a different sign for it. And so I just seen a bunch of different signs. And then Bitcoin is this sign. And
I've seen one with the two C's for cryptocurrency, and I think that's perfect. I really
mm-hmm.
like that one.
Yeah, so I again, not sitting well with me. Eventually, just kind of fell upon the two C's, and I study ASL linguistics, and so I thought about what hand shape matched what looked good, right? Because it's almost like investing, keeping money in your pocket. You use the same classifier, so I'm thinking, okay, it's just probably easier
Yeah, it works well because it's like investing too. Yeah.
for me. Using one hand for cryptocurrency is good. Now I am not saying that is the sign. If you guys have a different sign, by all means,
No, I like it. I fully support this sign, and I think we need to spread it among the deaf community.
trademarked.
Uh,
Totally agree. So for cryptocurrency, it's like, do you guys have a definition or how you can explain it?
well, I think the simplest way to, I mean, let's keep it simple and not overcomplicate it, is just a form of digital currency. It's digital assets that aren't, they're not paper, they're not tangible. It's not like a house or oil or all the things that we're seeing out in the world right now. So we want a digital version of currency. Uh, it's like, how can I explain this? It's really this, it's this huge concept. We can go into DeFi and NFTs, but basically it's a digital version of money that everyone's used to, like the idea of Uber and Lyft, like we mentioned earlier. Cryptocurrency is the modern day version of money. And people are slowly moving towards using this. That's how I view it. What does everyone else think?
Yeah, I also think it's the modern version of transactions, purchasing, and like bartering. I think like way back when, if you wanted shoes or fish, you would barter, and it evolved over time. And now there's a lot more benefits to using cryptocurrency. For example, um, there's the what do they call the NSF? I'm trying to remember what that stands for now.
Bank fees?
Yes, the bank fees. I'm so
Mhm.
sorry. So they'll have bank fees that they charge, and then sometimes you have to wait 7 days before a wire transfer is approved. And it's not aligned with our modern lifestyle and our timeline. So there's just a lot of benefits in using cryptocurrency.
Yeah. Yeah, just like you said with crypto, it's a brand new digital asset line. So you see this come up and it's brand new and there's so many different ones that we've had in the past. And now you're seeing crypto and there's so many things that fall under that. But with crypto, it's considered a currency. It has value. And in there, there's so many different reasons that it's a currency. There's utility, usage. You can use it because it has, eh, I know, a store of value. I don't know how you sign it. I'm not going to sign it like a store, but it has a store of value in
Yeah.
crypto. And so it's going to hold value for a long time and it's going to hold its worth very strongly. Also, there's a lot of different data processes that you can see that relate to crypto. And there's a whole litany of them that are out there that you can see. There's virtual accounting systems that are out there. There's systems
Mm-hmm.
and how information is stored. You can see that out there, and a lot of people are confused because there's so much out there, and I don't blame them. It's so new to all of us. I mean, still 15 years, I would say roughly. I mean, 50 years we were learning on crypto, so I there's learning about crypto. So
And if I could add to that, and how I got started using crypto is, I mean, everyone knows Bitcoin. It all started with Bitcoin. And I'll probably talk about its ticker, which is like Apple is abbreviated APPL, and Bitcoin we call BTC. We
mhm.
abbreviate. Oh, you guys use the same acronym?
Yep, I do. I do BTC.
Okay, perfect. So with Bitcoin and how it all started with Bitcoin and what motivated you to actually invest and get started with Bitcoin?
Well, from what I understood and what people would say, and I'd see this on social media, Bitcoin, one of the reasons why Bitcoin started is because 2008, there was a really bad crash in the economy, and the government had to bail them out. The banks, some of them shut down, and there was a lot of things that were happening, and the economy was really in chaos. And a lot of people were looking, and big banks, a lot of people were thinking, there was that whole saying that big banks were too big to fail. And that whole time, we saw transaction fees were expensive. Nothing was cheap. They would overcharge us. And historically, I don't even have to go into the history of big banking, but they thought about it just like Brandon said back in the 1970s. Things started coming
80s.
up, and in the 80s, and it was interesting. Things started coming up, and they created the blockchain system during that time, and they saw that the blockchain system can verify transactions. So the reason why I'm using the bank is for verification transactions. They can hold the history, information. They have a centralized place where it can hold our money. So they verify all that information. So that system is set up for that. We're talking about the international or global system. The whole reason why these banks are set up is so they can verify transactions. And now that we have this out, we cut out the middleman, we cut out the banks. And it's the same type of concept, because if I pay you through cryptocurrency, we save money and I could do it directly to you. Of course, some cryptocurrency is more expensive than others, but using that concept, it just gives us a whole new idea of how we could do banking. That's why I say crypto's here to stay.
Agreed. Agreed, David. It's verification of exchange of information with banks, right? You need to send someone some money and they charge you overdraft fees if you don't have enough money in your bank account. $25. Why are you sending the money when you don't have the money? So it's charging you more money on top of that. And that's extremely aggravating.
There's human error in it. It's not a perfect system.
Absolutely.
So there's things that can happen.
Right? You're in charge. You're more in charge of your own money as opposed to the banks telling me what I need to do with my money. No, it's I earned that money. It's my decision. However, I want to spend it.
Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect. It gives people a sense of freedom. They work there for their money, so you could do what you want to. And people are saying, "Why do you want to transfer 25,000?" And I'm thinking, "Why should you care? It's my own money." Bitcoin was designed to make these things happen. There was a person by the name of Sashini Keimoto, and people would say, is this one person who is the person who invented it, or is it a group of people? And perhaps that one person had taken the credit.
Right. And the suspicion is Elon Musk one of them, right? That's the controversy right now. I think it's funny.
Yeah. Well, that person is now, he's the person who's running one of the crypto companies. So it's interesting. He was kind of hidden for a while. I don't know which one, but that's the rumor. But I'm hoping someday he's actually going to come out. We'll see.
Incognito.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I wanted to add with the transfer fees and the what the banks charge you, and it's just not only money but time. A few years ago, I think there was $1.6 million that was sent in 10 minutes, supposedly. This was formally announced from London to Australia. I believe it was Australia. I'm not sure of the sign of
Australia. Yeah.
Okay, Australia. So 1.6 million, and it ended up costing this person 38 cents. Okay. The bank said there was a 2% fee. They're going to collect hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it'd be like a month-long thing, David.
That's exactly why the banks are scrambling, because they're realizing that they're losing control. And they're trying to force the government to get involved in all of this. And so everyone's jumping on board, trying to figure out what to do. And they don't want to lose that grasp on the economy. And it's okay. But if you don't change, then you may just lose everything. If you evolve, it's fine. So that's one of the things. And like you said, the transfer fees for the banks. I remember back in the day, my brother was trying to put money down for a house. And so he had to transfer some money, and he realized he paid 100 something in fees, and he didn't even realize it was going to be that expensive. And so he had to put that into his budget. And of course, crypto would resolve that problem. It's so cheap.
I'm actually glad that you mentioned that because I just sold a house in Texas, and now I have to wait business days in order to get my money. So it's, it's a manual process. They have to check, the banks have to check to make sure the funds are available, that there's no scam going on, there's no fraud going on. But if we did this process through crypto, I would have gotten my money in a day, a few minutes,
It's real
hours
time.
even, depending on the traffic. Absolutely. And I could have gotten to my money quicker, less errors. And what's awesome about this is that all transactions are public transactions. It's very transparent, meaning there's nothing. So if a bank makes a mistake, we don't know about that. They could reach out and say, oh, sorry, it's on the other person's end, or you owe us X amount of money for whatever reason, right? But this whole digital banking, digital process, you can see in real time how it's transacting.
Yeah. And just to add on, talking about housing, you can get a mortgage for your house, and you could get one using cryptocurrency and just not even deal with banks anymore. You could just use DeFi, and it's decentralized finance is what it stands for. And there's no background check. There's no history. They're not going to need verifying your paychecks for the past 2 years or figuring out why or how you use that money. You remember, all that paperwork that you have to do with all of that. But with DeFi process, if you want to pay for your mortgage, okay, great. Then let's get a mortgage and that's it. There's no bank oversight to deal with our way of life. So do you want to talk about DeFi a little bit, or?
Brandon? So you probably are wondering what DeFi is and what the concept of DeFi is. So in the simplest terms that I can explain it to you, think of a centralized bank, right? They have government systems, they have things in operation, they have people in place for these things. Now think of decentralized. It gets rid of all of that and it's ran literally peer to peer through a computer program. Now that program, you cannot just change. There are systems in place to prevent hackers from hacking the system. And the goal of this is to prevent hackers from hacking the system. So if I pay you $3,000 in Bitcoin and I send that to you, they have to send it through encryption. Now, if a hacker tries to get in and change the encryption, the problem is that there's already some laws and systems in place that will change it and it will disengage and it will not process and it will fail if someone tries to change it. So that's what the processes in place are for. So they found a way to just move money securely. And if you want to move a lot of money, I mean, you can move billions of dollars. I mean, they're trying to provide the best security as possible, and it's more safer and secure than banks. I have seen people talk about doing wires through the banks, and now they've lost money, and now there's lawsuits over this. They're trying to minimize that risk. So DeFi, which is essentially what it means, is to cut the middleman out. Let the computer program take care of the payment directly.
And I'm really glad you mentioned decentralized finance versus centralized, because what I'm thinking it's most important to discuss is that the banking system, centralized banking system, they have complete control and full power over what's going on. But anything that's decentralized means it's neutral. We run the system and there's nothing that's going to influence it. Now, unfortunately, we are in the middle of a war. We're seeing a war going on. So they're trying to figure out what to do with the banks, and they're forcing some platforms not to accept any trades. And that's slowly, as we're seeing, becoming centralized. So we certainly see the governments having some influence in crypto. Yeah, yeah. So it's one of the things that we have to see is if we could find a way so we can get control over the system. Am I right?
I think control happens through the exchange platform, like Coinbase, right? Coinbase. I don't know what platform you guys use the exchange platform. What do you use?
I use Coinbase. Coinbase.
I
use Voyager. Upload.
Yeah, I use I use several different ones.
That's cool. There's a lot out there, but I think the most popular one that people use is Coinbase. Voyager is another one that they're using. Robinhood. There's a lot out there. Robinhood, I like. They have both stock and crypto. But I think with this, the government is using this. It's called DApp platform, and they're blocking that. And so the thing with that is the owner of the money, it's still there online. The money is still there. They can't take the money, but they just block you from making any transactions right now. But the money is still there because when you write a note, it's like a bank note, it's permanently there in your account. They can't touch it. They can't take the money. There's nothing that's going to happen to that money in that account unless they find a way to transfer that money to someone.
Yeah. One thing that I find interesting in cryptocurrency and what kind of took me into the world of through Coinbase, through Voyager, through Robinhood, as you have mentioned, uh, is I mean, there's a saying in the crypto world that not your coins. Megs, did you want to add to it? No. Okay. So it's like basically you leave your investments on a platform, and if you want to withdraw, your from your wallets, whatever, whether it's through the web or through it, if it's through hardware, something plastic, to keep it safe because you own that money, you control that money, and there's no way that anybody, no bank can reject that. So just want to consider that as you dip into the world of crypto.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I know if you leave your money on the platform exchange, it's not your money. It's like you put your money on somebody else's table and you just leave it there.
Yeah, what I call brokerage, right? They hold it for you and manage it, but it's your account.
Yep, like a brokerage. And it's been hacked from time to time. There have been break-ins, anything that's on there. So if you have a cold wallet, and you could explain more about Brandon, you could explain a little bit more about what a cold wallet is. But I have half of my coins, my crypto coins in there. And some of them I leave in the different platforms. I'm still unsure about leaving them in the platforms. I don't know if I trust them enough, but they're still there and hopefully nothing happens. So,
yeah, I think it's very important for DIYOR, do your own research, and it applies to everything crypto. You want to make sure that you are researching, making sure you're comfortable with the hot or cold wallet. As David has mentioned, the cold wallet, it's more secure than the hot wallet, which means that it's online. So it's really important to be able to navigate and understand and what you need to invest in, but based on your research. And you want to grab opportunities and make sure that you talk. Do we want to talk about NFT, right? Because you did an amazing art piece. And I understand we are close to the end. We're going to wrap this up. So why don't you talk about NFTs?
definitely want to talk about the pros and cons too.
Sure. So I just want to clarify now, crypto is not just about money. Okay. Thanks to Ethereum, who came up with a smart contract. I can't get into it because we don't have time, but this type of technology that is being utilized helped crypto world. And so you have an account, you need to identify yourself. Now you have crypto, which is yours. Now NFT is called non-fungible
Fungible token.
fungible token. So with NFT, it could be a photo, it could be a movie clip, it could be artwork,
It could be land,
anything digital.
driver's
Right. But then
license.
it goes into more, it goes into documentation. So a deed to a house, something that is paper, tangible. You need a lawyer, you need an insurance broker to pull all this paper together traditionally. And so you replace all of that and it goes to an account. So let's say you lose your phone, that's fine because you still have all your information secured. The key is you have to have your 12 keys phrase. So very important whenever you create, lock it, secure it, keep it safe. And if you save it online, you have a higher risk of it being stolen and used. But there's so many things like you can use it for. So it's not just money. You have to think of how the future is going to evolve. So I'm looking into NFT more, and it actually started last year, where the boom started last year. And some people put some picture up there that sold for millions of dollars. It was a picture of like a bored dog or something like that. And
Yeah, I saw that picture.
But you're able to use it as like VIP access to services. It's not just art. There's more things that have to do with it. So there's a lot of potential. I mean, things beyond what we can even imagine. So looking into NFT, getting the idea of what it really is about before, we missed that opportunity. There's just, I feel like it's unlimited at this point.
Yeah, Brandon, I saw your advertisement that you had the ramps art, and I saw
Hmm.
that and I found all of your work. It's really cool. I really like it.
And where can we find your work?
OpenSA.io, and it's the most popular marketplace. It's kind of like eBay. It's the same concept. And so eBay's been going for a long time, and this platform's just started. So it's OpenSea.io, and they sell NFTs, and there's a lot of different NFTs that you could see in there.
And we need to wrap this up. So pros and cons. Did you want to talk about that really quick?
Yeah, I thought we spoke a lot about the pros, but I also want to talk about the cons as well because there are
Yes.
risks. It's certainly a high risk asset to get involved in. So can we talk a little bit about that right now?
I think maybe we should share the highest risk we believe. For me, I think it's, every token with crypto, with Bitcoin, with ETH, it's just, it's unpredictable.
It's
It's very
volatile.
volatile.
That's right.
And what you have today you may not have tomorrow. You can have over 5,000 today, and tomorrow it's only 200. So if you can't afford to put your life savings in there, don't. All right. Be smart about this. That would be my con.
Mine is misinformation. There are a lot of places that you could get information out there that aren't even true, and you just be ripe to get scammed. So it's going back to doing your own research and making sure that the information is accurate, making sure that everything is reputable, you're finding reputable sources, reputable links, and just make sure that all that misinformation, it just know it's going to lead to high risk.
For me, I would say I've got some cons, not just one, but you think of Ponzi schemes and how things are set up, and the old investors may come in, and then you have a new investor and they take the new investor, again, the Ponzi scheme. And we know that the US government has regulations in place to make sure that everything is protected and there's no Ponzi schemes. But as we kind of dabble into this new world, I believe there was 16,000, 10,000?
Oh, over 10,000. Well over
Over. Yeah, I think
10,000.
last I read it was 16,000. That we really have to keep an eye on and make sure, like you said, do your own research. And to your point, do what you can afford. Obviously, this could truly cripple your finances. I started with $25 and I got comfortable and I felt confident as I gained knowledge
Do the
and I
same.
started investing more. There's a lot of speculations that say, yeah, this is just a scam. They're out to get you. Not always true. So just be careful. We are 15 years early. But there's a lot of potential, a lot of potential.
Right. There's no FDIC insurance protection that's going to cover any of this.
Yes.
And the thing with the stock exchange and looking at cryptocurrency, we're looking at two different purposes for both of these. For the stock exchange, you're buying, you're selling, you're trading. With crypto, you could buy a car, you could buy a house. They have both entities that you could do with that. But with the stock exchange, you're literally just buying and trading stocks. So that's the difference between the both of them.
And then one last comment that I do want to mention is I had mentioned that 1.6 million transfer between two countries. Be extremely careful. Technically, this is still so new. When you send money, it can be very complicated. I think there's like 28 or 32 like letter characters that you have to copy and
That's right.
paste. And if you're off by one
Oh,
letter, one character,
done.
it can go somewhere else and your money is gone.
Lose
You
it.
don't get it back. With a bank, they can investigate, they
Oh,
can figure
just
out
a
where your
one way.
money went.
That's right. It just goes one way and that's it. Yeah, in the future though, I think that they're going to be able to get it back to you. But right
Agreed.
now, oh, you lost it. You lost all that money. It's down there and just it's gone. All right, so the last thing is I just want to know what kind of crypto would you recommend?
That's tough.
I mean, we're not financial advisors. I want to throw that out there, but
By any means. No. But one thing that I do notice is retend retenders is now you can, oh, I'm sorry, like merchants, retailers are able to, they're adding Bitcoin and currency. that you can use, like at Starbucks. So you can do self-service and you can use crypto to, and sometimes it'll like, we're waiting for it to become just one charge as opposed to two. And if it's one charge, you can go ahead and go through with it, but don't buy anything through Bitcoin yet. That would be my suggestion.
Anybody else? Yeah, with Bitcoin, I definitely recommend it, of course. I recommend getting Bitcoin. There's a lot of potential, especially down the line. It was the first mover, it was the first one out, obviously.
OG.
Yeah. So definitely a lot of respect for Bitcoin. A lot of companies are signing up. They're saying that they're going to accept Bitcoin as legal tender. El Salvador already has done that. So now you can even work and get paid in Bitcoin. Their currency is dead. I mean, it's just not even used anymore. It's 0.002 GPD, gross domestic GPG. Anyway, but it's dead. And so Bitcoin actually saved them when they introduced Bitcoin. Now Switzerland is in discussions. They want to make Bitcoin a legal tender. So Ethereum, there's a lot of tokens that fall under Ethereum, and I'm sure they're all good. Ethereum is going to be a good coin to use, but for some other ones, I don't know. The new ones that are coming out there, the baby ones, you're going to have to check out ISO 22. It's ISO 222. So I'm involved in 5 coins that are found in there, and then Bitcoin, Ethereum. Those are good.
Ethereum for me because of NFT, and I think it really depends on what you're going to use it for and what you're most likely to invest in. Now, if you are personally invested in Apple, obviously you want to invest in that. I use, just whatever I use, NFT is my thing right now, so I'm definitely with NFT.
Yeah. Oh, we have 5 minutes till wrap up, so I want to add 2 things. Oh, do you want to? Megan, you want to go ahead?
I just wasn't sure if we wanted to talk about what happened in the news. Do we want to talk about that?
I just want to add one final comment.
One of the beautiful things about cryptocurrency is that you are constantly learning something new every day. But I don't know if anybody had a chance to read that yet.
I know a little bit. I don't know if anyone else wants to add.
Well, 2 things. One, if you're investing in cryptocurrency, keep in mind you don't have to own the entire value of one whole Bitcoin, right? Or Deutsch.
Own fractions.
You can definitely own fractions.
You can diversify.
10, 25, it's fine. So you can look for the cheaper ones, but cheaper ones, 99% of cryptocurrency that you see, that 16,000, like was mentioned, will fail, right? It may survive in the long run, but it will lose its flair. I would have to say, I think it was announced yesterday, agencies to come together and to talk about understanding cryptocurrency and how to promote innovation for growth. And so I see a lot of value in that. So I see in Silicon Valley, the new Apple, the new Google, they want to make sure that they have that here in America. So it's all about protecting the people who are comfortable investing in cryptocurrency. So that's kind of what the whole point of that was.
I'm happy about this. We had to get in the game because crypto is going to be moving. People are thinking no, or they're trying to block it, but America's got to step in. We got to think about the future. And I value a free market. It's innovative. We're still growing. I'm hoping that banks are going to be implementing. Nothing's going to change, but we're going to actually integrate together because this is international. This is global. It's not just America. We could pay anybody globally. We could transfer US dollars to, let's say, someone in Japan, and we could transfer between different currencies using crypto. So I'm looking at it. I'm seeing the potential, and I hope we do what's best for us.
One of the positive ways I'm looking at this, that if there is none, that means I have no idea the world's just going to move ahead. I need to make sure that I have systems in place in doing my research now. In China, everything is set, everything is ready, so that can threaten the value of a dollar. If you look at digital yen, it could really take off. And right now, I think it's infrastructure bill right now, the very last bill that they put in. I was excited. A lot of people are scared because of the tax increase, which is kind of the con. But if they could set up a system right now, we can move it. We could be cryptocurrency friendly. Buy a home in 6 months, right? And it could be tax free. I think in Portugal, Spain, anyway. But I look at the bright side of this, and I think that it means we're on the right track. And I hope the US will lead the crypto world as usual. We usually lead with the dollar and with money and all of that.
I want to add one last thing. The goal of sharing this is because I'm tired of seeing deaf people as the last ones to know or the last ones to jump in. So I'm
Yes,
hoping this is a good
yes.
opportunity for everyone just to see what's out there because you see all these people, millionaires who are involved in crypto and Apple and all these wealthy people are putting into these businesses, entities. So I hope we as a deaf community see this and we get excited about it. The most important thing is that we stay engaged and curious. Just like she was saying, do your own research. So let's do it.
And I think there's some truth out there that, these rich individuals are investing a lot of money into this. And so we strongly encourage our deaf community to have an open dialogue. Nobody's right. There is no wrong. We're all in the same boat and we're all learning together as we move forward with this. So definitely encourage more dialogue about this. If you don't know what it means, that's fine. Look into it, talk about it. It's fine. Everyone around the world is clueless and we are still learning about cryptocurrency. We're not alone.
It's so new. It's so young. And there's so many opportunities for us to continue to invest.
Yeah, a crypto app to add into, or like crypto news. We could start slowly, take a look at that, keep an eye on that so you're not completely blindsided one day. Just keep a pulse on it because it could definitely affect our economy in the future.
Absolutely. I agree. And the more we are aware and we pay attention to this, more we could follow what's going on out there. If we don't start to learn and see what's out there, things will pass us by. So it's important to just keep learning and keep going and see what happens in the future. All right.
Agreed. All right. Great talk, you guys.
Great chatting with you.
Wonderful.
All right. Bye.
Bye.